Hello and welcome to another training video for Enlite POS powered by Dark. Today we're going to be taking a look at the racking section of the program. This is a relatively simple section, should be a short video, so let's jump right in. To reach the racking module, you can either press the rack button on the main menu, or there's a rack button down here at the footer. I'm just going to go ahead and use the main menu. We'll enter our PIN. And this is what the racking screen looks like. The racking screen is relatively simple and has very few controls. Up here where my cursor is blinking is where I would enter or scan my rack number, or I could enter or scan an invoice, and we're going to be taking a look at that process in a minute. Down here we have a calendar of the next 7 days, and this is showing me what orders are due for each day. If I need to see, for example, what orders comprise this number 4 here, I can click on the number 4 and it's going to give me the list of orders. It's going to give me the customer name, the invoice numbers, if they're assigned to routes, and when they were created. Also from this screen, I can hit this print button and it'll print all the orders that show up here, as well as past due orders that have not been racked yet, because we're looking at the not racked summary over here. If I print this, it's going to print to the invoice printer, and it's just going to print this same information, just that formatted to invoice size paper, so that the employee can walk around and track down any orders that may be overdue. The green numbers work the same way. The green numbers represent orders that are completed. Currently, we don't have any orders that are completed. We're going to do that in a minute, but if you click on the green numbers, you'll get the same pop-up box, and it's going to give you the list of completed orders, and you can print those out as well. Okay, so let's jump into the racking process. If you were watching on our last video, we had just gone through assembly. So there were orders that we assembled completely, and they were taking a spot on our assembly location, wherever you do assembly, and they were ready to be moved to the rack. So in order to do this, first we would scan or enter our rack number. So I'm going to enter rack A here. When I hit enter, it tells me that we are racking to our A rack here. And then I'm going to enter an invoice number. And again, these can be scanned. And it's very fast if you have a scanner, because you can continue scanning multiple invoices to the same rack. Or if you're using the scanner, you can scan the next rack location and then scan your invoices. It's very, very fast with the scanner. So I'm going to enter my invoice number. So we're going to do 844-5. And it gets added down here to the list. So I can see here that I've racked it to rack A. This is the invoice number that we just entered, and this is our customer, and then this is the destination. In this case, this invoice is for the north side route. So if I wanted to rack to a different location, all I do is enter my next rack. So let's say I'm going to rack to B now, and then I'm going to enter my next order, 845-3. And so it listed again here in the list. We've got this order for Jack Napier, and this one is for a store. This is for our dark cleaner store. If I make a mistake, I just have to hit the little X here. The little red X removes it. Let's add that guy back in. And I'm just going to rack one more order here, 6-2. This one is for Arthur Curry. It's assigned actually to 2 routes. That's not very common. This is our test store, so sometimes you see weird information like that. This one is assigned to 2 routes. Okay, and as I've been racking here, you've noticed that none of these numbers have been changing. And that's because technically we haven't racked these invoices yet. So we're going through our list here, and we're adding all the invoices that we're going to be committing to the racks, but they haven't been done yet. If I try to navigate away from this page, the system's going to stop me. So if I try to click somewhere else, the system's going to tell me to please save the invoices or remove them. This is so that the employees don't lose their work. So they've got a list going here. It's still not committed to the rack. If I want it committed to the rack, I need to come over here and push the rack invoices button. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. And now you see that the numbers have recalculated. So once the invoices have been racked, this one moved over to the green side. This is our 844-5 that we had just looked at. Now that one is on rack A. Same thing with the other ones that we were looking at before. So if I'm doing racking at my store for the current day, so today is the 29th, I know that all these numbers before the end of my day, or whenever your normal due date time is, say it's 5 p.m., before 5 p.m., all these red numbers have to be in the green, and there should be a 0 here in the red numbers because all my work has to be complete. If I'm getting to the end of my day or close to my due time and I still have an order here, I can always come in and see what order it is. I can print it out and then I can walk around and ask somebody where this order is that we need to have ready for today. So one more thing before we leave this rack module, because I do want to show you where these rack numbers show up a little bit later in the process. When you get your system by default, this rack is going to require a percentage sign. So when we don't know how your rack numbers are formatted, the system by default expects you to add a percentage sign before you enter the rack. So for example, I would be entering percentage sign rack A. I've disabled that setting for this video, and this is something that we can disable for you. There's only one rule, and that is your rack numbers cannot have dashes in them. If your rack locations have dashes in them, the system is going to confuse them for invoices, so that's when we require the percentage prefix in front of the rack. If your rack locations do not have dashes in them, then you don't need this percentage prefix, and you can just contact support and let them know, hey, please remove the percentage prefix on the rack module, and we'll get that done for you very quickly. Okay, so now that we've gone through racking, let's go take a look at how this appears in the most common place where people look for racks in our system. So we're very quickly going to navigate to the pick and pay section. We're not going to be discussing that screen on this video, but I do want to show you where the rack appears for the items for the orders that we've just racked. So we're going to hop on over to pick and pay. I'm going to click the pick and pay button. We're going to look for one of the customers where we rack something. And here we are in the pick and pay section. So as you can see, 845-3 was one of the invoices that we racked, and you can see that we racked it to rack B. So when the customer comes in to pick up items, pay for items, the employee who's working the counter will be able to see that this is where their items are located. And we're going to be going deep into this screen on another video. For now, I just wanted to show you that the rack appears on these orders when the customers come to pick up their items. So that's all I have for you on the racking module today. It was a shorter video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something new. And from everyone here at Dart, thank you so much for your time and attention, and thank you for your business. I'll see you on the next video.